Over the last 10 years, we have spent hundreds of nights sleeping in the backcountry. We have spent thousands of dollars on gear, everything from the cheapest stuff to the most expensive stuff. And we have finally built the ultimate backcountry sleep system. We're gonna share the pros and cons about everything that we have tried and show you the key features of the new system we'll be running this year. Hey guys, welcome to a new video. If you're interested in sleep systems, you have found the right video. Today we're gonna go over everything, including sleeping bags, sleeping pads, and the cherry on top, the pillows. All right, first things first, we're gonna start and run you guys through the sleeping bags we have used over the years. We don't have everything, but I have quite the collection spread out across the lawn. We're gonna start with the Teton Sport sleeping bag. I packed this sucker around for years. This is your typical rectangle, square body style sleeping bag, flannel inside. This bag does not have much of a compression feature to it. Rolled up, you got this giant cinch bag that you can just kind of crank down on all sides. Even when this thing is compressed to its smallest, it is just like a bowling ball of a sleeping bag. But I have carried this thing over countless miles in the backcountry, everything from shed hunting to just hunting in the late season. I'd say the thing I do like about this style bag the most is just the flannel lining. It's soft, it's comfortable. This is a 0 degree rated bag, but it's just not feasible for backpacking. I mean, it can be done, don't get me wrong. I've done it for years. There's so much new technology to get the same rating out of a bag, but with a lot more key benefits, including its weight and its size. So for now, this one is more of my jumping jack or my truck sleeping bag, and I have moved on to much better things.
So next up, in kind of the next tier of sleeping bags, I found myself settling on the Black Ovis. This is their 0 degree bag. What's unique about this bag is it's synthetic sleeping material on the bottom, so it's okay if it gets a little wet and it doesn't compress the same as down. And then the top is 850 filled down, so it's super lofty. Very comfortable bag, extremely warm. Warmest sleeping bag I've ever slept in. But the downfalls are the weight, and the packability size is just enormous. So next up on my sleeping bag journey, I upgraded to what I would say is a mid-tier sleeping bag. This is the Big Agnes Lost Dog 15 degree. It's got some cool features. It's got a sleeve for a sleeping pad that it will slide over here, just like this, like a fitted sheet on your bed. So the fitted portion of the bottom of this sleeping bag that kind of corrals in your sleeping pad, I loved that feature because I kind of toss and turn. I sleep on my back, then on my side, then sometimes even on my stomach. So having a sleeve for your pad has been a huge benefit to me for staying centered on the sleeping pad. And then the pillow sleeve as well in the top of this sleeping bag was a game changer for me. Your pillow doesn't squirt out the side or shoot out from underneath your head in the middle of the night. So that's huge. It's got a nice finish inside. It's pretty comfortable. And the zippers on Big Agnes, I think, are second to none. A couple cons on this bag for me was the warmth. It says a 15 degree bag. Anything under about 25 degrees, you were pretty cold inside this bag. It's synthetic, so it's a little heavier, and the packability is not great being synthetic. So that's kind of what left me still hungry to find a sleeping bag that might perform a little bit better.
Next up is my Stone Glacier bag. I have been running this for a couple years, and currently this is my go-to bag. So Brian and Casey were a huge inspiration to get me something better than my old Teton square body bag. Clearly, when it's more of a mummy cut style bag, it's going to be smaller. It's going to save you weight. And this one right here compresses quite a bit. So you saw me pull it out of this bag. And that's one thing you guys need to keep in mind as we move forward with some of these more expensive downfill bags. You're going to want to store them in this mesh bag and not the stuff sack. So it comes with a stuff sack. So again, this is a Stone Glacier 0 degree. And what you can notice about the shape of this is it really gives you some width up here in the shoulders. I'm only like 5'8", 175 pounds. There's plenty of room in this. this could easily fit someone bigger than myself. So I'm a back sleeper, and that's why I really liked that extra width. I just really sleep like a mummy. That's kind of what I do, is just straight on my back, and my arms kind of on my lap. So great zipper. I haven't had any issues with this. Zips all the way down, easy in and out access. And then right here on the inside, I would say this is probably not my favorite feature, but just because I had my pillow slipping out quite often. I would kind of stuff it in here and hope that it would stay put, but most of the time it just would slip out. So, but it is cut out for your head to be extra warm. When it's all zipped up, you've got some magnets here on both ends of this that are gonna just magnet attach. Obviously it's a very light magnet, so it'd be easy to break through it if you're tossing and turning. I really didn't use that feature. If you want to cinch it down over your head, you definitely can. But again, all zipped up, the shape of it just didn't want to keep my pillow on the inside. Obviously, if you had it on the outside and against your sleeping pad, it would just run away. Through the night, you're just scrambling for your pillow. It's always falling off your pad. And that's really what led us to kind of move to these next ones, guys. A couple things that Matt and I both have noticed when you're out there. You slide off your mattress, and your pillow slides around quite often. So we're looking for those solutions. We think we found it in these next two setups. Let's run you through them.
The evolution of my sleeping bag series has led me to the last two bags. This one I'm going to talk about is the Stone Glacier Chilkoot 32 degrees Quilt. And as you can see, there are no zippers or anything. So this thing is extremely light. But the upgrades from this quilt versus a sleeping bag are pretty minimal, but are huge when you're trying to get a good night's rest. One being these retaining straps to keep you centered on your sleeping pad. So these have been huge to keep you centered and aligned. Number two, the foot box in this quilt is huge and allows you to kind of lay on your side and to fold your feet over one another or cross your feet, which is great for a side sleeper like myself. And last but not least, just the ability to sleep with a quilt like a blanket at home. If that doesn't really make any sense, being able to tuck the quilt in between your two knees so they're not resting on each other, or being able to fold your quilt up in your armpit is huge. A couple cool features I like about this is no zippers, right? So you save on weight, and there's really no failing points that could really happen on a zipper. For colder nights, what you would do is cinch these straps closer, and what that does is bring these two ends together to allow no air to really escape or warmth to escape. And on those colder nights, you would buckle this collar around your neck, and then just like their sleeping bag, it's got a magnetic collar to retain heat as well. One downfall, and the only downfall I can see on this sleep system, is the pillow dilemma. And I kind of have solved this in the past by stretching out a neck buff really far and putting the neck buff over your pad and then slipping your pillow in between the neck buff and the pad. And I still think I'm gonna have to try that little hack with this system. As of right now, the summer of 2023, the amount of research and time spent studying sleeping systems and how I can get a better night's sleep in the dirt, in the backcountry, I have landed on the Big Agnes 3-in-1. I went down to our buddies at Black Ovis here in Utah, and I was able to get my hands on this bag and to look at it even in further detail. And let's just say I have not been disappointed. So the coolest part about this sleeping bag is a couple key features that it really hits home runs on, and that frankly no other sleeping bag or sleeping system in the industry has all three of these features combined into one. So we're going to start off on the exterior of this bag. This pad retaining system, or this sleeve, is honestly threaded like a shoelace. So it would fit just about any size of pad. I mean, we have tons of room here to go with a big squared wide pad if we would like. This is the Nemo Tensor pad for reference, but just a super thought out sleeve. And what I like most about this is your pressure points getting in and out of your bag are protected by this sleeve. So the likelihood of popping your pad go way down, in my opinion. Right here is what one would consider the outer shell of this sleep system. And just starting with this is the coolest part, I think. It's like a hybrid of a quilt. This is such a thin material. You're not getting any insulation from the bottom layer of the sleeping bag, but you have a 40-degree rated top quilt kind of system here. You have a sleeve for a large pillow. This is a large sleeve for a sleeping bag. And it's so cool how modular this whole system is. It's really blown my mind, to be honest. All these seams are double stitched, and the zippers here are, I mean, we haven't slept in this bag yet, but we have not been able to get this thing snagged, which if any of you have spent a fair amount of nights in the backcountry, you know there's nothing more frustrating than having to go pee when it's cold outside, trying to climb back in your bag and having it snagged. So the next part of this system is a 20-degree insert bag. And the coolest part about this bag, in my opinion, is it's kind of like their sidewinder bag, where it's kind of, if you can tell, it's quartered, it's kind of corkscrewed, where your head and zipper aren't necessarily centered on the middle or the side, which is great for side sleepers as well. So this 20-degree insert, when paired with this 40-degree outer shell, comes to a 0-degree bag at just 2 pounds, which if any of you have done research, that is mind-boggling in of itself. So the coolest part about this whole bag is how modular it is, in my opinion. This could be a great September elk bag if you just wanted to go ultralight with a bag. This could be a killer summer scouting bag at 40 degrees when you really are going minimalist. But when you pair the two together, you have a bomb-proof, all season, any hunt, any terrain system that honestly checks all the boxes. You got your pillow sleeve, you got your pad sleeve, and then you have the modularity of really being a one-size-fits-all bag for any temperature, any season. And I'm so excited to put this thing through the ringer. The only thing left to test, I guess, is the durability. But if it's anything like any other Big Agnes sleeping bags, they should hold up just fine.
All right, guys, last but not least, your pillow. I've used them all, from the very cheapest pillow all the way up to the most expensive backpack pillow. And I, at times, even just taking the pillow straight from my bed. So I'm gonna show you what we got to choose from, why I've used certain ones, and which one I'm finally gonna use. All right, Ozark Trail. This is a Walmart special. After years of trying different pillows, including all the blow-up pillows, I have found that I prefer something, at least on the top of the pillow, to be more of just a cushion versus like an inflatable blow-up pillow. So this was my answer to that, is at a minimum, I can take just this pillow, and most of the time if I do that, I need to fold it up. Now, obviously, because it is a fixed pillow, it does not pack down very small. It just comes in a blue stuff sack, and that's it. So cheapest Walmart special, gets the job done. But as we move forward through the other pillows, you might see that we can maybe get a 2-in-1. So that's why we're gonna move on to the next one. Your standard blow up inflatable pillow. Most of these, is this removable to wash? Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the Nemo Philo.
This is, all right, moving on to the blow-up style inflatable pillows. Most of them have a removable case that you can take out and wash. This is the Nemo Philo. This is a longer style, more of a rectangle shape. Definitely going to get the job done. Packs down pretty small when this is all said and done and deflated. So that's a great standard blow-up pillow, entry level. Definitely recommended for anybody who is moving on from the standard cheapy stuff to an inflatable. Check this one out. Definitely gets the job done, but there are better options. And as we move through these guys, just keep in mind we're going from the cheapest to the most expensive. Somewhere in between is the Climate Deluxe pillow. This is kind of a 2-in-1. So it's inflatable with a removable sheet-like outer layer. The top of this is padded, so you're going to get some cushion on top of the inflatable unit on the inside, which is going to give it extra protection. I ran this for years. This is probably the pillow I have used most over the years on all my shed hunts and all my backcountry hunts. So inflatable here with a quick release, just simply twist that, pull it out and you can deflate it. Again, as you blow it up, you just twist it to the right and it's going to keep from deflating. Quick snap button right here to push that in. That is a great all-around backcountry sleeping pillow, the Climate Deluxe. At some point this spring, I got myself a neck injury, a little bit of a herniated disc, and it was causing myself a ton of pain all through my shed season, and I just couldn't sleep. And one of the things that I was doing at that time was combining the deluxe pillow with my cheap topper, right? So with that, I had the inflatable side of it, but I had some cushion on top just because I prefer that. That obviously is bulky, and those two would kind of swim apart from each other. So through the night, I was constantly chasing my pillows, which led me to this Nemo. I wanted to save space. I wanted to save weight. This Nemo sleeping pillow is inflatable and has a small memory foam topper. So that is your 2-in-1. That is why I moved to this pillow right here. I actually just got it at a recreation store down in Moab on the way to one of my shed hunts. I really did like it. It is small, it is compact. Even when it's rolled up, it's not that bad. It's nothing close to the 2 that I was packing before. So I did save a lot of weight in my backpack. This is the higher end of an inflatable pillow. I think most of you guys would absolutely love this pillow, especially if you pair it up with one of your sleeping bags with a pillow sleeve. It fits most pillow sleeves and it is super comfortable. All right, some of you can relate, whether you're at the truck camping, whether you're in the camper shell. Some of us, no matter what, we want comfort, we want to sleep good, and I am more than willing to pack around the extra weight of my home memory foam pillow. Especially this year, I found myself taking this on all my shed hunts because I just could not get comfortable. So I would start packing this around. Not ideal for backcountry hunting, but hey, if sleep is important to you, if the pillow is a big part of your sleep system, then hey, pack what you like. So if this is what I would take, I would probably use this exact pillowcase. And because it is memory foam, this would roll up not too small, but a lot smaller than it looks. A little heavier, of course. Memory foam is not packer friendly, but I would just throw that in the top of my backpack. So some of you guys can relate. I'm curious to what you guys use when you're out there as a pillow. Some of you will even take a stuff sack for your sleeping bag and maybe put a jacket, a hoodie, whatever you got that you're taking anyways, and just use that as a pillow. Obviously, if you do that, you're gonna cut weight because you're using items that you already have anyways, and you're gonna save a ton of room in your backpack. But that is all of the pillows, the bags, and the sleeping pads. And now we're gonna take them and show you guys what they look like inside a tent. We're gonna make different setups. And basically, the fun thing about a sleep system is you get to create your own system based off your budget, you know, your style of if you like to shave ounces or not. We're gonna put up a couple tents and show you guys what they look like.
All right, for a little bit of a size reference, we have these 2 sleep systems set up in an Argali Rincon 2-person with the insert. Before we dive into a little more about these bags, a huge part of a sleep system, and I think probably the most overlooked part of a sleeping system, is the pad. And these are 2 pads Eric and I have ran for a while. And this is the Climate Static V and the Static V Recon insulated version. These 2 pads are pretty dang bulletproof. I've ran some other pads like a Big Agnes and a Sea to Summit pad, and I've been able to pop both of those. And nothing against the companies. I think if you spend enough time on a sleeping pad in the dirt, you're bound to pop something. So these are kind of a less expensive option that Eric and I have ran for the last like 2 years, and they still look great. So 2 pads, something to take away from both these pads. The R value is not super high, and your loft or width of these pads aren't great. So if you are a side sleeper, your hips or shoulders might be on the ground. So rolling into the tent, this is the ultimate sleep system, like we talked about, the 3-in-1 system by Big Agnes. The pad of choice we are running on this system is the Nemo Tensor Alpine. It's got a 4.8 R value at, I think, 17 ounces, which is crazy warm to weight ratio. So this thing is extremely rad. It comes with a self-inflating bag and a compression sack. So right here, I'll overlay a clip of us insulating the pad with the inflation bag, and I've been able to use Big Agnes and Thermarest inflation bags, and this inflation bag kind of blew my mind. It was by far the most efficient. So this system kind of set up in here, fits perfectly. Lots of room in this tent kind of to climb in here, get situated. And then on this side, we are running, this is the Thermarest NeoAir NXT. So this is their second generation of the NeoAir. The NXT, they went for a quieter system so it wasn't sounding like you were sleeping on a bag of potato chips. And I believe this is a 4.7 R value at about 15 or 16 ounces. So a touch lighter than that one, but I'll put the stats right here. And I'm running the Nemo Philo with this system. So kind of the differences between these two systems, we kind of gave you an overview over there about the two systems. This is your all-in-one, bulletproof, best money can buy that I can think of or that I have found. And you really don't need anything other than this. You have your early season, your late season, and your mid-season all in one. Got the pad sleeve, the pillow sleeve. They got it all right. This one, the Stone Glacier Chill Quilt, is kind of your minimalist, ultralight, mid to early season setup. It's a 32 degree, so paired with a puffy jacket and puffy pants, you'd probably be great into that 15 to 20 degree. But once you're getting below that, you're definitely gonna want something a little beefier. But I'm going with this sleeping system for these early season hunts because it weighs virtually nothing. I'll put the stats right here of the two compared to one another. Weighs virtually nothing and packs up smaller than my Nalgene bottle. So I hope you guys have enjoyed kind of this whole segment. This has all been learning from Eric and I. Learning through trial and error. And after close to 100 nights sleeping in the dirt last season alone, and I can honestly say out of those 100 nights, I can count on one hand how many of those nights I had a solid 5 hours or more of sleep. So super excited for these sleep systems. And another portion of this whole gear and tech is something we're super excited about. Our friends at Mountain Ops. I don't know how many of you guys have kind of taken melatonin into the backcountry, but it's a huge game changer for us, especially on places like Alaska or these early season hunts where it's light so late into the evening and it's hard to go to sleep when it's still light outside. So if you guys want to check out the new melatonin gummies by Mountain Ops,